Hello everybody, doing this one, well, a little bit about guns and cannons and what kind of stuff they had at that time. You can read they're saying guns first appeared in the 13th century. Right, Henry VIII was the 14th century into the 15th, and then we had Elizabeth I. So the guy I'm going to use a little bit of his footage, he says that the star forts were built in the 16th century for another 300 years. That's to the 1800s. We all feel that something happened in the 1800s, didn't we? Anyway, not just that. He also says that they used brick because brick didn't shatter like stone. So I thought that was also very interesting. When you're looking at the guns in the 1300s and the cannons in the 1300s, nothing much changed until the sort of 19th, 20th century at all. So that's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. For nearly 600 years, nothing much changed. But they managed to build all these star forts against this. So that's all a bit crazy. Obviously we're going up the years now, that's the 1900s, so the guns are beginning to change now into the 20th century, but for 600 years, nothing much changed. We all know history's a lie. The guy says 1600s, the star forts were built, but there you go. They had cannons in the 12th and 13th centuries, and they used this for 500-600 years. This was the defence. Nothing much has changed. I can't believe it. I mean, even in, what century are we there? 13th, 14th? We've got the Mons Meg cannon. So you had that then. Hundreds of years ago. 1400s. But, I'm just amazed that nothing much changed, but we managed to build all these star forts against the tyranny of these cannons. I look up how far they can fire, and even that doesn't change over the time. The cannons can go for about a mile, maybe a little bit longer, but we're not looking at, well, the cannon of that century means now the cannon can go 2 miles, 3 miles. Oh look, it's a different size, it's been changed a bit. I mean, literally, they look the same. It's like they were using the same equipment from hundreds of years ago. They even used cannons in the wars. First and Second World War. So I thought that was quite incredible. I cannot believe how the infantry has not changed for hundreds of years till something happened in the 1800s. So these star forts could have been there from the 12th, 1300s, because we know they lie about our history. But I'm just a bit shocked that if we were in such a war-torn place, right, why hasn't the guns and equipment got a lot better over the years? No, they were using the same equipment, the same design, the same everything for 600 years. Does that sound like we were ravishing each other with wars? Does it? No, it doesn't. So there's a bit of a blip there. That doesn't make sense, because they would have updated the infantry, the guns, the cannons, and they're the same sort of things. They haven't really changed. What is all this? Why do they have to lie? That's the 13th century. And you'll see that the cannons just don't really change much. In fact, they probably look more high-tech in the 1300s, 1400s than they do in the 1900s. They're still using the same things. You imagine all the wars they've said we've had. Wow. But they didn't upgrade or move on the guns and the cannons. So what does that tell you? At the same time, when we're building all these star forts and all these places are here. No, it doesn't add up to me. But what we'll do is we'll just play this out, and I'm going to put in afterwards what obviously the guy says about history, but he's probably half right, but the dates are going to be wrong, aren't they? But anyway, I just thought it was very interesting. I mean, these guns look older than the ones in the 1300s. I don't know, it's all a bit bizarre. Personally, that's what I think. There you go. Do they look any different? Still got wooden wheels. I think as it comes on, they get metal or iron, whatever they're made out of, but they're not wooden anymore. That's the 1900s, so those wheels might be metal. Wow, what a big upgrade that is. Obviously, maybe some of the wooden wheels would break, but I mean, it's not much of an upgrade, is it? For hundreds of years of fighting, that we're still using the same equipment, really, they were using in the 1300s. There you go. Anyway, let's finish with what the guy says about star forts, because we all want to know when they were built.
Fortresses were usually built high or on hills to make it possible to rain down arrows on approaching enemies. But these straight and tall walls, curtain walls, proved vulnerable to cannon fire. Gone were the tall towers and straight walls of medieval forts, and in came the bastion fort, or star fort. Although not a new invention, these fortresses had low, sloped earthen banks called glacis. These were sloped on the outside towards any possible attacker, and made it difficult for cannon fire to seriously damage the citadel behind them. By creating these jutting bastions, the flanks or curtains of a fortress could be overseen, eliminating dead zones. Moats had proven themselves during medieval times and also found their way into bastion forts. In between the bastions, some forts would also have tenails, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. These defensive works provided extra protection for the curtain, where a postern gate or secondary gate could be hidden from sight. The more common ravelins are these detached outworks and would often sit in front of a curtain wall, further protecting these. They would also have a very low wall or no wall at all on the citadel-facing side. That way, enemy forces could not find shelter within them. Other outworks were hornworks or crownworks, the latter one having one or more complete bastions itself. There were many variations, configurations, and ways of thinking that evolved over time. Bastion forts were often built using earth and brick, as brick does not shatter on impact the way stone does when shot with a cannonball.